So I've been playing Destiny 2 for the week since it came out. I was texting you like, I don't know if I should get this, and then I think my next text was, I bought it.
Yeah.
Before you can even respond.
Basically.
Yeah. I'm really liking it. I will start off saying that it is what Destiny should have been.
Right.
Is what people keep saying, and I completely agree. It's what Destiny should have been, except for a few problems that I do have with it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the positives.
Yeah.
And what it is that you like about it, because you did play some of Destiny 1.
Yeah, I finished Destiny,
King, right?
and then I went through Taken King. I didn't do. I did the first DLC, whichever one that was. House of Wolves. Yeah, that's the one I did.
I know a lot about this game.
I didn't
Never
do
played it.
I didn't do the second and third. So, for positives, they restructured how weapons work. So instead of you having instead of you having flexibility in regards to what kind of weapon, like sniper rifle versus SMG versus handgun, they've changed that to you have a slot for kinetic, power, and energy. And your kinetic can be any of those things. You can have an auto rifle, you can have a handgun, or a hand cannon, sidearm, which is kind of interesting, the things they threw in there, so it's like a quicker pistol. Sniper rifles, whatever. You could have a kinetic one, so it's a traditional bullet, or you could have an energy one or a power one. The power ones that I've seen so far have been, and I'm only level 8, so it could be different, but in power I've seen sniper rifles, I've seen grenade launchers and shotguns. So I think they've relegated that to try to limit those kind of weapons because of their power. Sniper rifles are also in others, but grenade launchers and shotguns are the big ones that are in that. So it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors, where if you see a certain type of armor, then the energy is going to do better on it. So I do like that because it allows flexibility for me to say, if I wanted, I could say, I really like hand cannons. So I'm going to have a regular hand cannon, and I'm going to have an energy hand cannon. So you can have both. And I like that, to add that flexibility, because that way you're not forced to say, pick up an SMG that you don't want to use, but that's the best one for it. So it allows you to play, find your style, and not be stuck on a style based on a new equipment set.
Speaking of being stuck on a style, I know that one of the things that Kirk Hamilton from Kotaku was talking about specifically is that when you pick up a weapon, you don't have to level it up.
Yeah.
Like when you get the weapon, you can immediately try it and see how good it is at the top end.
Correct. Yeah,
you really like that.
I like that because what'll happen is you'll find weapons, or in Destiny 1 you would find weapons and you'd go, well, this could be better than what I'm using. It will be better than what I'm using, but I have to spend time using it to get it up to what it should be. So it's more straightforward, like Borderlands, where it's like, oh, here's your new sniper rifle, go have fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to compare damage because you don't have to level up. I also really liked the graphics as well as the backgrounds. It's one thing that I stopped in some of our playthrough of it, just to show, because there are parts where you're expected to just run for the goal, right? The level starts, you know where you're supposed to go, you run there, and if you had turned to the left or turned around, you'd see all the space battle going on and it's like, okay, this is a tutorial, but you're going to miss all of this stuff. The environments are really well done in that case. The textures and the I've had the game crash a few times, but I don't think that has anything to do with the graphics or anything.
Yeah, I really appreciate it when if you're going to tell me a story about something monumental that's happening, take the time to impress upon me the grandiosity of this thing that is going on around me, whether or not I'm actually encountering or interacting with it. That was one of the things that I really liked. When you're trying to play in Halo and there's all these things going on in the background, or back even further, Final Fantasy VIII, there's the garden gets attacked at one point. Spoilers for Disc 2.
Yeah.
The garden gets attacked, and you were running through a setting, and there was like characters fighting and students and soldiers and mechs fighting in the background while you ran past, and that gave it scale.
Yeah.
That allowed me to feel like I was part of something bigger,
Yeah.
and this kind of gives you a similar feeling.
Oh, they definitely do that in Destiny 2. I was happy with that. The gameplay's been really good, and the missions. So you just like Destiny, you drop into an area, and then you do missions there. You can set instead of where Destiny was like, I want to do this mission, I'll drop here.
Mm-hmm.
You drop to a specific drop point, and then you kind of choose what to do, very much like an MMO. So
Okay.
you drop, like for instance, I've been in the EDZ, the European Dead Zone, which is one of the very first areas you're in.
That's the farm, right?
No, the farm is separate from that.
Okay.
So the EDZ is your first actual area. You're free to like fight and find missions and stuff. So you have story missions, and then you have adventures, and the adventures are side quests basically. So as you're going around, you'll see, and they get marked on your map. If you go near them, it does get marked on your map to go for later. So it allowed me to not just run in and hit something once. I got to kind of explore more of the EDZ than I would have before. There are some times where the missions send you back through an area that you've already been through another mission, which I think it was bothersome to me, and maybe the developers realized it because your ghost literally says, "Oh, we're not going to the mines again, are we?" I'm like, yeah, because that's how I feel. Why am I going through this area again? And you have a couple different enemy placements, but it's not, I mean, to me that was kind of irritating. But I do like the different missions as you're going through, because you have, I think there are only 3 missions in the EDZ, the 3 story missions. When you find a guy, and then you have 3 missions you do. But there are, I think I've done 4 or 5 adventures as you're running around, which I think is really cool. But this is where I go into the things that I don't like.
All right.
The design that I mentioned gets very repetitive in the areas that you're going through.
The mission structure?
Okay. The mission structure a little bit, because while you may be hearing something different in regards to the plot, like, oh, that's
as
this
far
thing.
As why you're killing.
Yeah, the amount of missions where it's like, just go in and shoot that guy, and that's really all I'm doing, and the ghost is talking about something, and the people are talking on your comm link, the NPCs are. I get that, but the variety wasn't there. I fought a lot of the same enemies over and over and over again. Also, the repetitive theme. I've done 4 missions that involved what are they called? They're basically proximity mines, so laser tripwire explosives. So I have had 4 missions involved with that. One was unique because it was like, oh, remember those things we found last time, the first time I did it? Let's go find them and transmat them, like teleport them, and then teleport them to a place that we want them to be, and then have a trap for these guys. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But then I have 2 more freaking missions where I show up with these explosives. I'm like, no, I cleared these out of that other area. I don't want to. To me, it broke immersion. Where I'm like, this seemed like they were designing the level and they went, "Oh, this corridor should have explosives in there." It wasn't. To me, it didn't feel natural in regards to the plot. And I've had a couple other issues. The biggest one that I've found is the difference in double jumps for the characters.
Okay.
So if you're a Titan, your double jump, your single jump is just a jump. Your second jump of the double jump is a rocket. You like Boba Fett it and fly off, which is cool. It's a little weird and wonky when it comes to control, which I'm fine with, because if the control was too good with it, then everyone would be a Titan, everyone would be using the double jump. If it was viable to go up there and as you're gliding along start shooting, it'd be way too much. So I get that. I don't have a problem with it. Hunter is a more traditional double jump, which is what I've been playing. It's a more traditional double jump. The double is pretty high and coasts a little bit. But the Warlock, the double jump is a glide. So you initially jump, and then you hit that double, and you go up a slight bit more, and then you glide.
All right.
Which I'm like, that could be advantageous if there weren't two places in the tutorial where you can get stuck and can't finish unless you kill yourself. Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah, both of them are in the second half of Homecoming, the tutorial mission. The first one is right after the cutscene. There are these giant balls that are falling down, these energy balls that are being like tossed out like weapons or whatever the heck they are. You're going into to stop the bad things, and if you accidentally fall into the trench, there's no way to get out. I accidentally fell into the trench, and I could not double jump out of it. Titans can double jump out of it. I believe Hunters can as well. But that part was an accident. There's another part where this is the bane of the Destiny beta, was the turbines. So there's an area that we go in, they're like, oh, we have to shut down this big reactor, shoot these turbines, which they now have a little mark that they'll put on them so you know what the heck they're talking about. But if you go into the gap, which I don't even know how you would not as a warlock. There's a gap where the turbine is, and you shoot it. You can't get out. There's no way to get out. You have to kill yourself and then go to the next one. And that was really irritating to me. I don't know why they didn't think of that. Maybe there's an easier way to do it. I could not find a way to get up onto the middle piece or the platforms beside it. Meanwhile, these energy coils are like passing and they're rotating slowly, and if you get hit by one, you die. I'm like, okay, this is too much. If you don't have a regular double jump, it's way too hard for that. I don't know why they didn't add like some little platform in the divot so you could go hop, hop, hop and go up. So that irritated me.
That is weird.
A lot. I feel like that, along with a lot of the recycled enemies, a lot of people may not be happy with that. If you really liked that environment, I mean, I can say the same thing about Halo, because they had a lot of the same recycled enemies, but I felt to me like this should have been, I don't know, it should have been an add-on, and kind of like what World of Warcraft did, where they were like, all right, when you buy this expansion, you're not only getting the expansion, but we're upgrading all your stuff for regular vanilla Destiny. Yeah. That's how I feel like this should have been. The farm is okay. It allows more people. I think there was a limit of 16 players in the Citadel before, and the Citadel, I think, Tower. So in Destiny 2, you have 24 players that can be in the farm with you. So it's a little bit more bustling. To me, it still cracks me up that it's like, oh, there's 24 people in that instance of the farm that you're in. Yeah. I'm used to like World of Warcraft, where it's like, no, you have 1,000 people, and we're gonna have a dance battle, and like it's not as grandiose as it could be.
Have you had a dance party yet?
An impromptu dance party.
Okay.
But there were only 2 of us, so.
It was a very small dance.
It was a very small dance party, but I was doing a mission. I finished the mission. This other guy was coming in to do the mission, and he realized what I was doing, so I just started dancing. Nice. Overall, I've really liked it, but that's my biggest complaint, is that I feel like there were some things in regards to the design that didn't quite work. But the other thing that I can't go without talking about is microtransactions. So, So, again, microtransactions being in a AAA game, and this is a AAA game that it's $60, and it's $35 for the season pass. Now, I don't have a problem with that, because if I'm going to get into Destiny, then I feel like the season pass is going to be worth it for the amount of content that they're going to push out. I'm a believer in that. If you want to, because this is not giving you a subscription, you're not doing a subscription like World of Warcraft. I'm like, this is a way to give the developers some money, continue to work on the game, work on the DLC, work on the game.
Yeah, and what's going to be coming out is going to be substantial. It's not just going to be like little tweaks or like an extra,
My problem is, though, that is the engrams and silver in the game, which you can farm in the game, but it's random. Okay, so any of the engrams, you get a random piece of loot. So with silver, you can buy legendary engrams that then turn into random stuff. So you are buying booster packs of Magic the Gathering cards to find something random.
And the randomness and the loot crate version
Yeah.
of microtransactions is something that I find really hard to swallow.
Yeah, I have a problem with that because if you were giving me the ability to have an Ingram and then go to a store where you can cash an Ingram in for a specific item,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, because you're talking about weapons, you're talking about pieces of armor, you're talking about shaders. I mean, this is literally skins.
Yeah, and skins, like cosmetic things for microtransactions, I don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
But you can spend money and get an in-game advantage with microtransactions, and that is upsetting.
Yeah, it is upsetting, and when the game is structured around to get those legendary items or the equivalent or something similar, going through the strikes and going through these epic missions, to me, if you're not, to me, it's you do one or the other. Either you fix it so the huge epic strikes and epic missions give you a decent amount of drops, so that way you can get something.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you do that, and it just bothers me that I feel like if you add the loot boxes along with that they're going to tailor the drop rates in regards to the strikes to be lower, because that'll encourage you to spend $5, $10, $50 buying something, as opposed to running it a reasonable amount of times. And like MMOs, like, okay, well, I've ran this strike 10 times and I finally got it. Okay, there are people who ran them like 20, 30, 40 times to get an item. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think 5 to 10 you should be able to get the item that you're looking for.
Yeah. And design decisions around microtransactions are really tricky. And as far as the shaders go, and I know I said the cosmetics are fine, but there are 4 parts of armor that you can color, or including the gun.
Correct.
They come in 3s.
Yep. It's the hot dogs and hot dog buns dilemma.
Yep.
How many do you buy to have an even amount, or do you just throw away buns? I mean, that's basically...
No, you buy chili. And then you have chili dogs, and then you have chili sandwiches.
So
the TWIOCH solution is chili sandwiches,
Yes.
and that's what Destiny needs to fix.
Yeah. Wolf brand or Hormel, whatever.
As long as it doesn't have beans.
No beans.
No beans.
No beans.
No, I'm getting chili. It's supposed to have beef. Anyway, so hopefully you'll be able to get up high enough to do the raid. The raid's going to be coming out soon. But this is kind of a first impressions of what Patrick thinks of Destiny and what I've heard on the internet, because I didn't get it because I'm bad at shooting.
Well, so check out our mediocre Let's Play of that, so you can see me fool around and try to figure out what the heck I'm doing. But I will say that while you're seeing my mediocrity, you are at least seeing the story. I do categorize them by the levels, by the missions and what's in them. So you'll be able to get that out of it at least.
There you go.
And we'll talk to you more about it later. Take care.